So, we've all heard it, right? AI is coming for our jobs. Not just some jobs, but every single one. It's this massive, kind of scary claim that gets thrown around a lot, but is it really true? Today, we're going to dig into that exact idea by looking at two totally different worlds. The view from the absolute heart of the AI revolution, and the view from, well, from a local barbershop. Okay, let's get into it.
And this is the quote that kicks the whole thing off. It's from Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia. Not some jobs, not most jobs, 100%. That is a seriously bold statement. It's almost like a prophecy. So to really get where he's coming from, we've got to look at the world through his eyes.
And this is that grand vision, the top-down perspective coming straight out of Silicon Valley, from the guy who is arguably at the dead center of this whole AI explosion.
Now, why should you care what he thinks? Well, Jensen Huang isn't just some tech CEO. He co-founded Nvidia way back in 1993, and his company makes the chips, the GPUs, that are the engine behind basically everything we call AI. I mean, his customers are the biggest names in the business: Google, Amazon, Microsoft, OpenAI, Meta, you name it. So yeah, when he talks about the future, people tend to listen.
The way he sees it, AI isn't a threat. It's this incredible equalizer. He says it empowers people by making ridiculously complex tech super easy to use. I mean, just think about ChatGPT. You don't need to know a single line of code to use it. You just talk to it, and you get amazing stuff back. In his world, that's what AI is all about: lifting people up, not pushing them out.
And he's convinced this is just getting started. He's looking at the next wave, something called agentic AI. So imagine an AI that isn't just a tool you use, but more like a partner that does things for you. You could just say, hey, plan a trip to Italy for my family, and it wouldn't just give you ideas, it would research flights, book hotels, build the whole itinerary, the works. He argues that this level of AI is going to create so much demand that this is definitely not some tech bubble.
Okay, so that's the view from 30,000 feet. It's exciting, it's huge, it feels like it's going to change everything. But now we're going to do a complete 180. We're coming all the way down to ground level.
Yeah, you heard that right. Forget about global data centers for a minute. We're going to step inside a small barbershop in India. Because this is where that grand theory of 100% change smacks right into a very, very different kind of reality.
So this shop has 3 barbers. Altogether, they bring in about 2.7 lakh rupees a month. That's around $3,200 US. That's the shop's total monthly revenue.
Now, after you pay the barber salaries, the rent, the power bill, the owner is left with about 1.5 lakh rupees in profit, roughly 1,800 bucks. This isn't some venture-backed startup. This is a family's livelihood.
And this is where the math gets really simple. A human barber costs the owner about 20,000 rupees a month. A robot that could do the same job, you're looking at an upfront cost of at least 1 crore rupees. That's over 100,000 US dollars. I mean, the numbers just don't add up. It's not even close.
And that right there is the whole point. For the shop owner, keeping his human barbers isn't about being nostalgic or sentimental. It's the only decision that makes any economic sense. Automation is just wildly, ridiculously more expensive than labor.
So, what gives? We have these two completely separate worlds: Jensen Huang's world of incredible tech progress and the barber's world of simple, on-the-ground economics. So how do we square that circle? Well, we need to figure out who Huang's everyone actually is.
This really is the key question, isn't it? When a CEO in Silicon Valley uses the word everyone, does it actually mean the same thing to him as it does to a small business owner in Navi Mumbai?
And here is the answer. It's actually kind of mind-blowing. The entire global workforce is about 3.4 billion people. But look at this. The slice of people working in jobs like information, professional services, tech, the world that AI is truly set to turn upside down, that's only 12%. The other 88%? They're in manufacturing, agriculture, retail, construction, services.
So here's the big reveal. When Jensen Huang says everyone, he's talking from inside that 12% bubble. He's talking about his world, the world of engineers, designers, analysts, coders. It's a world that feels like the entire world when you're in it, but it's actually just a tiny fraction of how humanity actually earns a living.
So why is the other 88% so much more insulated from this AI wave, at least for now? Let's break down the reasons why the barber and the mechanic and the plumber are probably safe for a while.
It really comes down to 4 things. First, just like we saw with the barber, in most of the world, people are cheaper than machines. It's that simple.
Second, the real world is messy and unpredictable. A robot can be trained for a perfect scenario, but it has a hard time with all the weird variables of, say, cutting a kid's hair when they won't sit still. Third, you've got the value of human trust and touch. You want your nurse to be empathetic, right? Not just an algorithm. And last, most small businesses on the planet just don't have a spare 100 grand lying around to buy a robot.
So, the more likely future? Think upgrade, not replacement. A barber might use an AI tool to scan a client's scalp or show them a new hairstyle in augmented reality. The plumber might wear glasses that overlay the building's pipe system onto his vision. The tech becomes a powerful assistant, but the core job, that stays human.
And this whole thing isn't just about individual jobs. When you zoom out, it actually starts to create a massive new kind of economic divide on a global scale.
You basically have two completely different economic realities playing out. In developed countries, you often have labor shortages and aging populations. For them, automation isn't just a cool option, it's an economic necessity to keep growing. But in developing countries, there's often plenty of labor available, so human workers are still the most efficient and cost-effective solution by a long shot.
And here's the real bottom line of this whole thing. Far from being this great equalizer that lifts up the entire planet, this wave of AI is probably going to make the existing gap between rich and poor countries even wider. The developed world will automate to boost productivity, while the developing world might get left further behind.
Which brings us to this final thought. Maybe the AI revolution isn't really about changing how the barber works at all. Maybe it's about forcing the people building the AI to change how they imagine the barber works. It's a powerful reminder that whenever you hear about a new technology that's supposed to change everything, it's always worth asking one simple question: for whom?